this week I was really motivated to learn something new. So I was thinking about, the easiest thing to put this is find something that you like, and every week, just once a week, level up. Like, for example, if you like to do barbecues, for me, I've just decided, you know what? I've done briskets, I've done tomahawks. This week, I'm going to do smashed burgers. Completely different.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so the same with my editing. I'm learning how to do the cuts. I decided, you know what? I've learned this thing called L cuts and J cuts. Because someone on our podcast, thank you, said that the editing was a bit disorienting. And so
we got that feedback.
Yeah, we did.
Keep giving us feedback because this guy's a perfectionist. We win.
I just love to learn new stuff. And I learned this new thing. I just looked at how do I stop people being disoriented when it comes to editing. And one of the things they talked about was L cuts. So transitioning from it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm learning that this week. And every week, I just want to get better and better and better. And also, this week, you'll see a different style of podcasting. We've got dual camera setups. So that was another thing that I've learned.
I can see that the lens I'm looking into is quite close. So there is a sense of better connection.
Yeah.
Before the camera was away, I kind of almost forgot about it.
Yeah. So yes, that's the biohack of the week. Always look to improve one thing in your life every week.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like, it has to be something specific and go, can I take that now to another level?
That's right.
Let me go all in on that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And it has to resonate and be meaningful to you.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah.
Has to be meaningful. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, you could do certain things like you could abuse your wife and go, I'm going to step that up.
Scratch that. We're off air now.
Oh, yeah.
The ABC. Oh, dear.
And do you have anything you want to talk about this week? I've got 2 topics that really resonated with me this week.
So obviously that was a rhetorical question. Is there anything you want to talk? Well, actually, I've got stuff I want to talk about.
No, I've got some, but I want to know what you want to talk about.
I want to hear yours because I will probably complement it. Go on.
Okay. This week's topic for me, 2 things that really resonated with me is value, recognizing your value. How do I recognize my value? Because I had someone ask me, and we talk a lot about value, and it's really hit home for me, this whole thing about, I finally accepted that my humor is of value to people.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I can give you a hug right now. Good on you.
I finally accepted
that. The world wins.
Yeah. And it is now more meaningful to me to do skits because of that context shift, because I feel like I'm helping someone. And then what I thought about was, okay, how do I get someone? Because it took me 40 years to figure that out. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe we can cut the time down for some people.
Yeah, and I think for some people, it's how do they recognize what their value is? Because why this is important is because I've also been watching other YouTubes on the week, and you think about business, right? There was this guy who talked about, the rich mentality versus poor mentality. And the poor people, the poor mentality, the poor mind always thinks in terms of hours and muscle. So I need to work harder. Whereas the rich person, it's like, no, I need to leverage. So they go from that thinking to, I want to manage people. And then for managing people, they're still time bound because of the number of people. And then they go next level, which is sales, which is webinars. And then they get more people selling their services. But to do that, to make that shift, you need to know what your value is and the value that you're providing to others, because that's where people will sign up, because you are of value to someone. But you need to know your value to get to that level, to earn that $1 million a month. So that was where I saw the dots going, okay, realize my value. And then how do I sell my value? And then, so that's one topic. The other topic that I was really interested in was the failure of communications, communication errors in marriages or in relationships. Because I'm at a point now where I'm seeing a lot of issues like stonewalling, being too defensive. And then what happens is your failure will lead to people not wanting to go near your partner or you, because and that's just external, right? There's also internal stuff where the marriage breaks down and all that stuff. And all of I saw so many sort of commonalities, even coming down to how do you raise your children, avoiding those sensitive topics with religion and all that. You're just hoping that everything will solve itself. So there was about 5 themes that I saw, and I'm happy to explore that as well. So it really depends. Like, does any of that resonate with you?
Both.
Oh,
I think they're both important, and I'd like to unpack both with you. They're really cool.
Okay, cool. Let's start with value.
All right. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I found really, really hard was understanding what my value is and really believing that I can sell it, to the point where I can sell it. So one of the things that I thought about was I looked at all the things that people said that was not good about me. I started off with that because it's easier for us, for normal people to start with, because a lot of people find that, looking at the good side is like narcissism. So it's always easier for people like us to start from, what are the things that people say to me at work or in my childhood?
But would you also say that that's where you were captured as well? You were captured in what wasn't right all the time.
Correct. Your mindset,
So you're in that loop, which is half the story, and it fueled you to keep getting better.
Yeah.
But your value kept going up because of that. But you weren't paying attention to the value going up. You were only paying attention to you're not there yet. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. Well, isn't that interesting?
Very interesting. And I do not know why I do that. I'm sure everybody else does that.
Oh, it's normal. It's normal because the brain is told very clearly through conditioning that people will decide your worth.
Right.
And therefore, in the moment when people criticize you, your brain goes into a survival mode of, I have to quickly prove my worth. And you could loop indefinitely in that. And you could end up giving the most extreme value, not know you are, and be completely exploited. And what a coincidence, I wrote a song called Slave, which we'll listen to later.
I listened
to Did you listen to that?
I did.
Oh, cool.
Afrojack. Yeah, I love the beat. I see that you're on this theme now of this.
I use the same Afrobeat setup, that deep cut groove funk, that R&B, Yeah, I love that. I love that sound.
I love it too. It's very chilled. So coming back to what you just said.
Yeah.
What do you mean by exploit? Can you give an example where you are,
Because look, when everybody wants to be of value, and everybody wants to give value.
Yeah.
If you give value and you are preoccupied with relief that the value landed, in other words, someone accepted it.
Right.
You're living in escaping consequence, not celebrating value delivery.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep.
So see, what a different mindset that is. It's like, oh, I just got through that. I gave value. Right? Now you just want to be on your own because you got exhausted because it was a survival thing, and then you isolate yourself. But what would be the difference if you gave value and you felt the difference you made? You felt the difference you made. And when they wanted to express their gratitude, you actually felt that, and it energized you, and you felt connected to that person. And then when that person wanted to reciprocate, you actually felt you're deserving. You joined the value exchange instead.
Right.
How do you slow down enough and feel the difference you make and let people reciprocate?
So the two examples I can think of easily is work. They said, Azlan, help us develop this plan, deliver it by this date. Okay, I've done all this plan, clarified all the problems, deliver it. But like you said, I'm like, and then people go, well done, Azlan, but I don't connect with that at all.
No.
The other one is simply cooking for my son and for my in-laws, something I'm passionate about, and they've been dying to get brisket, and Azlan is learning, and then they eat and they're like, Azlan, this is great. And that, I feel like, wow, I've demonstrated value there,
I've come up with a great idea.
What is it?
We're going to have another segment in our podcast, and it will be how we finish the segment.
Right.
We will shorten our segment by 10 minutes. So I'm being a smart ass right now.
Yeah.
You're going to cook something really cool, and we're going to feature what you cooked and your passion of why it's awesome. And I'm going to enjoy eating it. Yes, that's called a value exchange. Well, not really.
Slavery. Exploitation, that's what it is.
Let me introduce my cook, chef.
That's funny.
I want that tomahawk experience. I love the tomahawk.
Oh, I should make one for you. I know how to do it now.
Make one for me. Just cut some... when you first cut the tomahawk, and it's just beautiful, juicy, and then it's rested, and you cut it and then you have those, and you just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
And I want that experience with you.
Sure. Easy, done. But not every episode. So yeah, that was the value exchange I can think of, like in my head, where I connected with something, and the other one where I'm just trying to meet someone else's expectation of what Azlan brings to the table, you know? So,
well, that's a pun. What Azlan brings to the table.
Yeah.
But sorry, with your family,
yep.
when you do cook and you love what you create and you like watch them, how do you experience that?
That's just the expression. I just go, ooh, I'm so valuable in this family because I can cook food. For me, it's a big
deal.
You know, to give my son food, to give my family food, and then to have them eat it and
love it.
Yeah, and for me, the cooking is the loving part. I really love to cook. I love to set up the barbecue pit. I love all of that stuff. Is the process. It's just, I enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And so that sort of, it just feels great. Like, oh, I'm quite valuable. I told my wife the other day, you know, like
that's actually quite a funny conversation.
It was
hey, honey, I've realized I'm really valuable to you.
and she stayed quiet the whole time when I was rambling. I was like, I listed 10 things. I was on the way to get coffee, and I'll tell you what the experience is. Oh, I can cook barbecue. I can talk about sports. I'm easygoing. I'm kind. I'm helpful. I'm I'm funny, you know. And then I help my family, my indirect family, my other family with retirement. I help this family resolve risk within the infantile family. I'm great. I'm like a 10-in-1. That's the next one. And then I walked out saying, I'm like a 10-in-1 value package. And this whole time she kept quiet. She didn't say anything. And I walked out the house feeling, yeah, I'm great. I'm like a shampoo, you know.
And she just rolled her eyes again.
I don't know what she was doing, but she probably wasn't listening.